Hi, welcome. My name is Danica. I'm the Senior Social Media Coordinator for California Psychics. And today we're here with a real life married psychic couple, Psychics Kerrigan and Psychic Roman. How are you guys doing today?
Great, thanks.
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Yeah, getting ready for fall and for Halloween. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to dress up my cats because, no one to do a cute couple's costume with. But I'm sure there's a lot of other people here that probably, also have some questions about when they're going to find someone to do a Halloween couple's costume with. So are you guys ready to get started?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Cool. So before we go, how about you tell us a little bit about how y'all met?
Sure. It was probably what was it? Well, how many years ago? I would say probably.
Let me get a calculator.
It was probably 20 years ago, to be honest with you. We met we had a drum circle under a full moon, and a lot of musicians were hanging out and playing music, and we happened to sit beside each other in a drum circle. But later on in life, we went different directions, and he used to come and see our band play music. And then we had met one night and talked about music all night long.
Yeah.
and ended up staying with each other that night. And then we went separate ways.
Yeah, just kind of in and out, just really bounced in and out of each other's lives
for years.
Yeah.
And then in 2013, we had a mutual friend tag us, and was it Happy Beltane Blessings, and we saw each other and we started chatting, and then we actually went on our first official date, and then we got married in 2014. So we've known each other for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Just kind of bounced off the energy grid there.
Right, back and forth. And sometimes
back to each other, that's what matters.
Yes.
Well, we're getting a lot of questions in, so thank you so much, everyone that's tuning in. Just to go ahead and kick things off, I'm going to go over some ground rules. So during this reading, we're not going to be able to answer any questions about legal issues or health-related questions or anything about pregnancy. So if you are commenting about that, I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to answer your question. But we're going to be answering a lot of questions today about love and relationships. So if you have a special someone that you need a little bit more insight into, go ahead, comment your questions down below. We're going to be doing this for an hour. So before we get started, I want everyone to share this post. If you're on Facebook, tag a friend in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, share the link with your friends. Tell them that they need to get in here and comment their questions so that they have a chance to get a reading as well. This one is going to come over from Marie on YouTube, and she says, "Hi, do you see any love coming in for me before the end of the year?"
The first thing that came through for me, sorry, I didn't know. Whoa, sorry. But the first thing that came through for me is that as far as the love is concerned, the relationship part, yes, I do see meeting, I do see conversation, dating and things of that nature first. I see the love, like the actual love part coming from that as we move into next year. So I don't know with that, but it feels.
There's two people coming through, Marie. One will be probably within the next, I think you're talking to them now, but you don't know where it's going. And I feel like there's a doorway that's opening up for that, but that's not where you're going to land. That's not where you're going to hang your hat up and call it home, so to speak. That one is coming more around that late November timeframe, which bleeds, like Roman said, into the beginning of the year. And I feel like that one is the ticket. But you have to have this experience with this first person that I feel like you're kind of talking to and not sure what they're thinking, what you're thinking. Let that play out, and you'll know. You'll know that feeling when it hits you, when that person appears into your life. And I do feel like it's through like texting, talking, like social media, or even there's different social media sites that we have. You'll understand when you start talking to them there. Then it'll open that doorway up for the both of you to continue and progress and see what you think of each other. And I think that you two are going to really like each other.
This one comes from Tommy, and he says, "Hello, I'm curious if my ex Jonathan and I will be able to get back together. There's tension, but he's stubborn."
Thank you for the names, Tommy. That's very important. That's how I tune in, is by people's first names. So I can just jump right into that. As soon as I heard the name Jonathan, yes, but you're looking at a 6-month turnaround for 100% of what you need and what you want. Because yes, of course, he's stubborn. He's like a bull, but I do feel very strongly that he is ingrained in you and you are ingrained in him. Both of you have that bond together. And you can't, and they get a great big pair of scissors, you can't cut it. It's still always going to be there. But you, Tommy, you are going to meet somebody on that 6-month time frame before Jonathan, buttons himself up and settles himself down. You definitely will meet someone that way. And it's something to pass time with until he gets to you. And when he does come to you, because he will come to you, he will be the one that initiates it. Don't just welcome him with open arms. Don't do that right off the rip. Make sure you're comfortable and you can clarify and gain more trust before you jump in and move into the real big, like meat and potatoes on the table of the relationship,
This one is from Martin. He asks, is Bianca the woman for me?
First of all, I heard the name Amy, and I don't know if that's an ex or if that's somebody coming, but I heard it right here. And that's very important. When spirit speaks to me, I listen, I pay attention, and I'm very respectful. Bianca is the one for now, but there's something to do with an Amy. And I don't know if that Amy is coming through to you as a heads up, or if it's somebody that you still have residual energy with that you need to let go. But it is definitely a spiritual connection. Bianca's the one for now. Yes.
Amy's the in-between. And I don't mean like someone you're going to date in between. She's the one who's going to introduce you to the next person coming up in February. So she's like the in-between. She's the person who's going to, like, you're going to rely on each other. She's going to be that friend. She's going to be there to listen. She's going to lend that hand, and she's going to help you. And then through her, you're going to meet this other person. And I'm just showing February. It's snowing. I'm not sure where you're at, but it's snowing.
But pay attention to Bianca and really go through these motions and emotions with each other, because you have to have that as almost like it's a requirement. Let's just say you're in class and you have to do this subject and you have to do this test. That's what you have to do. You have to pass all of these different life experiences so you can gain more information to level yourself up, to enlighten yourself more when it comes to love. And I feel like Bianca is the person that can trigger you to understand that.
Kendra says, I have been married to Eric for 21 years. Have I met my soulmate? Things don't seem the same.
Can I take this one?
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, Kendra, real quick, I'm going to give you some soulmate education. Soulmates can be people that you love, that you are in love with, that you have intimate times with, and they can be best friends, they can be children, soulmates are just a major range. But what you're asking is he my romantic soulmate? Is Eric my romantic soulmate? Honestly, I feel like he is. I truly, truly do. And I'm telling you that from the depths of my heart. I just feel like life has gotten in the way of both of you, and you both have lost that loving feeling. But I do feel like you can turn it around. And I'm going to tell you, that's a hard wheel to turn. But you both can do it. I think sometimes what Spirit is saying to me, what they're speaking to me, is that you're not always sure if you can push through. So much happens, so much. It's like Guile Corey and Salem, more weight. You have more weight all over you. Like every time something happens, you carry that weight. Kendra, release that weight. Release it so you can be feeling light and breezy and empty. And then hit that refresh, restart you and Eric. I know there's a lot of tension and a lot of things that have happened between the both of you, but it can work out. Don't put your psychic chips on the table new when you have somebody right here that you have history and respect and loyalty with. The loyalty you're thinking, come on, you know what happened. Yeah, I know what happened, but it can be turned around. It definitely can be turned around.
This next question is going to come from Annalie. She asks, is Larry the one for me?
Larry feels comfortable.
I like Larry.
Yeah. As soon as I see it, honestly, as soon as I see Larry, I just see a large glass of red wine, candles, a nice cozy fire, just comfort and happiness. I feel warm inside. Like it's just, he feels good all over. You know, I think there are times where he may get a little headstrong, you know what I mean, and may jump and make quick decisions without thinking. But you know, it's there. It really is. I feel that mutual love and that mutual connection is what I'm being shown. Like the energy just is slowly just coming together.
I feel like I'm in Poland when I tune into you and Larry. So I'm not sure if there's a trip made or if that's heritage or bloodline or what, but it feels very good.
Okay. This next one comes from Julie. She asks, "Is James the one for me?"
Don't be scared, Julie. Do not be scared. I truly feel like you're kind of walking that tightrope of surrendering everything that's ever happened, all the distrust, all of the life patterns of other people. Remember, James had some learning to do. We all still do, all of us, even you, Julie, even me and Roman, we all still have things to do. But I feel like the bond that you have is super duper good. And I feel like you're no nonsense. It's this way or no way. Be a little bit flexible, just a little bit flexible. And then the next day be a little bit more flexible. And then start that pattern too. But again, don't take any crap from him because he can't dish it out. I do clearly see that right here. He can dish it out. Don't walk away from it, confront it, fix it. Yes, I do feel like he is the one for you.
This question comes from Katherine. She asks, "What do you see for love life for me? I just met someone new named Brad, and an old love named Victor came back."
Oh, that's confusing.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you exactly what that is, and then you can go through it. I'm sorry. I got it. Listen, Katherine, is it right?
Yes.
This is the test. This is where, Katherine, this is where you have been super duper cool. The karma bus has stopped at your house, okay? And it is finally time for you to have a choice. And it's a good choice. And, you know, it's a blessing to have this choice. I know it can be confusing, but where you started before this other person came through, stay where you are. Okay, what was the first person's name that you're with?
The ex is Victor. And
the ex is Victor, and then the new guy is Brad.
The new guy. Okay, so Victor is the ex that came back. You need to stay with Brad. But it's your choice. Remember, I can tell you what's the better path. Brad is the better path. But karma is saying, okay, girl, we're dealing it out for you now. We're rolling the dice on the table. How do you want to take this next path in your life? With Victor, it would be tough. Very tough, because you have to get through all that residual energy. With Brad, it's brand spanking new. And plus, he came to you because you asked for him to.
That's really it. You kind of hit the nail on the head with that one. It was really, you know, Victor, even though regardless of which way you choose, they're going to be there. Victor's going to be the harder path. Mm-hmm. It's going to be the tougher path. You know, when I tuned into that, I know it sounds weird. That's how things come to me. It's just like my feet hurt. Like it's a tough walk. It's a tough road. Would it one day even out and be nice and smooth? Eventually, but it's a lot of work, a lot of back and forth. And with Brad, it just feels like a smooth sailing, just nice, calm seas. So it really feels like Brad is the way to go. That's what I'm being shown. It feels what feels better. So I agree with that. That's definitely, yeah.
And with Victor, it's like you made your bed, lie in it. You know, you can forgive, you can forget, but we can say we forget, but we always have that little part of ourselves. And because what they're showing me when he left, it was abrupt. There was radio silence, and that's a hard thing to overcome.
Mm-hmm. Kim over on YouTube wants to know, is Ken the person for me?
For now. Again, for now, yes, for now. You have a bigger picture coming to you when we get into the April timeframe, but you have to go through this process with Ken. And if you choose not to be with the person that's coming in that April timeframe, that's okay too. It's like, you know, you've done good things. Again, another good person. You are a very good person, Kim. You put out so much. You've given willingly, unconditional love, unconditional positive regard, a lot of empathy toward a lot of different people. and now you're being rewarded, you know, with a choice when we get to that April timeframe. Do you stay on this path, or do you jump and go to somebody new? If you really, really want to stay with Ken, yeah, it can work out. But again, the universe, the gods, the Most High, they're going to be giving you another choice. They will.
It's just
You don't have to do it. You do not have to. You can stay where you are, or you can move forward to another wonderful chapter of your life.
So we're getting a lot of questions from people that are, you know, asking, is this person the one? Do you guys have any, you know, tips or tricks for what to look out for if you think someone might be the one?
Well, I think for, you know, one is don't settle. Know what it is. I think for a lot of people, and that's one of the things, if you notice with Kerrigan, as she was going through different things and different questions, it was, you need to go through these steps. And for a lot of people, it's that realization that there's certain things that we have to learn to really and learn about yourself. A lot of times we don't, you know, myself included at times, don't take the time to really kind of open up to those things that could be negative or positive. So just listen to yourself. I don't know, it's listen to your gut, that first feeling.
It's hard to listen to our gut when we're in love. It is, because being in love is super crazy. It truly is. When you are in those first stages of falling in love, and then that what do you call it? The adrenaline of being in love kind of starts to dial down. That's when we start to question things. Remember, when you build this foundation with someone and it's super smooth, or you have anxiety, okay, what are they going to call? What are they thinking? What am I thinking? That's still part of the foundation that you have to build for a relationship. How do you know somebody is the one? Somebody that comes to you, somebody that is there for you emotionally, physically, spiritually, somebody that, you know, if you're not feeling your greatest, hey, can I do the dishes? Hey, can I take out the trash? Hey, do you need anything? Somebody that's going to nurture and love as much as you nurture and love back. If you're giving out more and they're not reciprocating the equal amount of what you're giving, then you really got to check that person and see, is that person worthy to be with me?
Mm-hmm.
And it isn't being egotistical or selfish, but in this point in our life, we have to put ourselves first in order to get through the racetrack of all of those emotions, the emotional racetrack, in order to find that final race where we settle down, where we find comfort with somebody that could be our equal to help us navigate the rest of our lives. But make sure as you move forward, you are putting your needs first, and you say to yourself, don't be conceited about it, but is this person good enough? Could this person be somebody that would be not only good enough for me, but my kids, all of that. You have to really consider all of those different kinds of components before you say, yes, I do. I do.
Yeah, because sometimes
Okay, I think we might be having a couple of technical difficulties. So while we wait for Kerrigan and Roman to pop back in, thank you so much to everyone that is checking us out, whether this is your first time watching or you come watch these every Monday, because we do these every Monday. So make sure that you follow us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube, so you can be sure to come in every single Monday to get your questions answered. The only Mondays that we don't do these live readings are the third Monday of every month when we do our tarot live, which is actually coming up here on the 19th with Psychic Laverne. It's really cool. What we do is we take in questions, and Psychic Laverne will pull a card and explain the card for you. Looks like they are popping back up.
Hi,
welcome back.
What happened?
I think it just had a little bit of technical difficulties, but you're back, so that's what counts. I was just taking a short break to talk to everyone about our upcoming events. So definitely check out our Tarot Live with Psychic Laverne on, I lost the date already, on the 19th. Next week, we will be back with another Facebook Live with Psychic Aisha, And then on the 26th, we will be doing a live reading with Psychic Marin. So make sure you mark your calendars for that. It's going to be at the exact same time. To everyone that's joining us, thank you so much. If you could be sure to share this and tag your friends in the comments so we can get them in here, because we're going to be doing this for another 40 minutes. We have a lot of time to answer questions. So make sure you tag them. If you're new, thank you so much for joining us. If you could try to phrase your question as specific as possible. If you are mentioning another person, try to use their name, so that way it'll help Kerrigan and Roman connect just a little bit easier. I actually found a great question. Alexandra asks, are me and Tristan on a good road for our relationship?
For me, what comes through is, yes, you are on a good road for your relationship. I know sometimes it may feel like it's a little scattered, but the two of you are going to bring it together. It's one of those things where the two of you are going to learn from each other, and you're going to be able to pull together and bring out the best parts of each other, instead of maybe the negative parts. You know, it just really, the two, you just, sorry, it's hard to talk. It's just so much at once. Like, the two of you just growing together is really what I'm shown. So the path you're on with, and the road that you're on with Tristan is a very good one. Just, you know, when Tristan's down, pick up, and when you're down, he will pick you up. So it really feels good.
Mm-hmm.
It's the two of you are really, really connected well, spiritually as well. Wow, sorry.
And over on YouTube, we actually have a comment for Kerrigan. Mary Ann says, hi, Kerrigan. Thank you so much for your insight with Jeff this afternoon.
Oh, hey, Mary Ann, I love you. Oh, I love you so much. It's good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in, Mary Ann. Okay, a lot of questions coming in really fast. This one comes from Amy. She asks, will my husband Victor and I get back together? Is he the right one for me?
You're too nice. Sorry, that wasn't me. That was them. You're too nice. They don't, oh boy. I'm not sure if this is your grandmother on your mom's side or your mother, but it's female. She's saying, stop. You're too nice to him. You're too nice to him. He needs to be sweet to you. He's not sweet to you. He wants to be your sweetheart. He doesn't know how to be your sweetheart. But yes, he is going to make that roundabout, but you have to be extra cautious when he does, because I don't feel like he wants the security of home. He wants that peace that, oh, I'm home. Everything's fine. Everything's great. I can relax. She loves me. I know it. She's here for me. This is good. I'm happy. But then where's the passion? Where's the work? He just can't be comfortable. He's got to actually be the husband that you married when he comes back. So it will happen. I do see him just being very comfortable in your home and very comfortable that you two are together, and then not putting forth effort to make things jumpstart the intimacy, the passion. So that will take some time to get there. But as long as he's there, you can work on that together. And when he becomes uncomfortable, I don't feel like he's going to bolt out the door. I don't. I feel like he'll just slouch back down in the chair and do the comfortable things. The remote.
It's almost, the cycle isn't the word for it, but it's comfort. It's what's that word? When we get into a rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's in that rhythm. So,
but it'll happen. He'll be back. He will, Amy. But you're just such a nice person. They say you're so nice. Just, you're gonna have to put your foot down sometimes, honey. You're gonna have to stand up. You know, you will, and it's okay to do it. You're not gonna push him away and run him into the arms of someone else. You're actually gonna get respect because you're standing up for yourself.
Taylor says, my husband Ryan's overly negative attitude towards things can sometimes really drag me down. Any advice on how I can help him with stress and hopefully raise some vibes?
The first thing, the overly negative attitude that I feel that he has towards things is it's not so much, it's more of a communication. It's more of a communication problem. Like, how it's hard for him to feel that vulnerability and be able to express the things that he wants to express, so it comes out as negativity. So what I'm being shown is that for you to kind of help with that is to allow him the space and let him know he needs to know that it's okay to be that person. It's okay to open up. It's okay to communicate, to let those feelings out, and that way you can kind of guide him.
Yeah, but it's not okay when he explodes verbally and all of that energy just goes across the room. It's like a wave, an energy that just imbalances the whole entire metaphysics and sanctuary of the home. He's got to tone that down. So there's ways that you can say to Ryan, hey, Ryan, look, I know you're frustrated. I get that you're frustrated, but there's got to be, let's take a walk. Let's go do this. We can't have the frustration in our home because this has to be your sanctuary. Let's go on the porch. Let's take a walk. Let's do something. But let's let it out here. The other thing for you, and this is very important for you, this is pure metaphysics. In order to combat that negative energy, because it is dragging you down, the best thing that you can do is two things, and it's super cheap. Get yourself some iron nails and wrap them in an X, like with some red thread or whatever thread, and wind them together in a red X and wear them, because iron repels negative energy. And you have to think of it, when he's spewing out that negativity, it's like plaque on our teeth. It sticks to you. It sticks to your physical, right? It sticks to your spiritual. It sticks to your emotions. And the iron nails will repel that, so it won't even stick to you. That's a big deal. And the negativity that he keeps inside of him too, there are certain ways that he can release some of that negativity. I'm a big advocate for kosher salt, the salt that we cook with. If you put some of that in the base of the shower and have him swish his feet back and forth in it, that will remove all residual negative energy that he has ever endured his whole entire life. And if you make that a daily ritual, you're going to see his negativity melt away little by little. And then eventually he'll be squeaky clean, and then he'll learn from you, because you'll support him on how to remodify those behaviors. Instead of getting angry, Ryan, let's find something that you can do, because it's a trigger. You have to identify what the trigger is for him. Once you do that, he can start to learn how to replace that with remodification of his thinking. But it can happen. It totally can happen. And I feel like the stress level in your house, if you do just those few things that we talked about, it will decrease dramatically within a week. You'll see. And rewind this if I spoke too fast. Write down the notes. It's important. That's metaphysics, and it does truly work. I can't hear her.
Sorry. Salome over on YouTube asks, will me and Mo talk soon or get back together? And does he miss or think of me?
Mo, I'm sorry, you can take this one, but first things first with Mo, I'm not sure, and I won't know, but I feel like I'm in the gym. I feel like I'm a trainer, or I'm training. That's what it feels like with Mo, like a very
he's busy
all
the time. Mm-hmm. He always finds something to fill his day with. And it's not because he's trying to ignore you or because he's trying to ignore anybody. That's just who he is. It's like, as soon as this task comes in and it gets completed, it's time to move on to the next. So he's always busy. And he does really enjoy that, the training, that working out, and he likes to show people how to do that. Now, that being said, will he talk to you? Yes, I feel like he's going to reach out to you. The two of you are going to connect. He will reach out. As far as the reconnection, going back into getting together, it feels like there's some things that he needs to do to make you comfortable, and there's some things that he's going to wait for you to do so he feels comfortable as well. So it's almost kind of like a 50-50 street, where it's on the level where he's waiting for certain things that you're going to say, certain things that he's going to see you do, where he's going to feel comfortable with that as well.
But he does think about you. He does, but he doesn't know what to say to you because he feels like he's crossed boundaries. Mm-hmm. Like when he just leaves and you get no communication from him, he knows what he's doing. Don't think he doesn't. He knows. But the cool thing about this is that you are a challenge for him because you are great. he won't tell you this until later in life if you choose to be with him, but you're the best thing that but you're the best person that he's ever dated. And he knows it. So he's got to overcome that stage fright of jumping into the deep and settling his butt down, because he knows that both of you two could be driving a really good life. You really both, because you're both strong, you're both stubborn. And that's just a good recipe for success. It truly is, because once you put your mind to something, you do it. But if both of you could put your mind to it, you two could make millions. Really, you both could. He's just got to get himself, he's got to understand he needs that, I want to be fluffy, wind beneath his wings. And that's what you could do, and vice versa. You could be the wind beneath his wings. So it's an equality there.
Marisol says, my romantic life has been a roller coaster, and I wonder if I would find someone worth my while. Currently, I have a crush with Joshua, but it seemed like a good connection at the beginning, and now is just distant.
Go ahead, you seem like you can.
Sorry.
No, it's coming through you first,
Yeah.
please. I don't want to.
Marisol, you're sleeping beauty. That's what they said. It came right out of my mouth. You're sleeping beauty. It's he woke you up. He woke you up. Is he the one? No, he's the one that you can have these feelings with and understand your feelings of love and attention and attraction. All of that is going through your whole system now, which is amazing, because you haven't felt that, and you deserve it, and you are worthy of it, and you are beautiful. That's what she's saying. So you have to make sure that you know that you were in that glass case. And what's his first name? Joshua came through and he woke you up. He absolutely unfroze you and woke you up. He's not your last stop. He's just the beginning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This one comes over from Rod. He says, what is in store for me in love?
A singer. Sorry, I'm so sorry, Roman.
No, you're good.
I'm so sorry.
I don't want to interrupt the flow.
Yeah, I've got it right now. It's coming.
Yeah,
It's spewing out. It's a singer, Rod. It's definitely somebody that is musical, somebody that is very, very attractive. It's
sorry, they paint too.
They paint too.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. No, kid, come on. Just tag it. But it's coming. Like, I feel when we get to March timeframe, you're probably going to be planning a ceremony with someone, saying I do, picking out venues, picking out guest lists and food and all of that stuff. That is definitely coming. And the cool thing is, I don't think you're going to have to pay for the band, because this person coming in has got some serious musical connections.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's good. It's good. Your love life is going to skyrocket here. Because he's probably thinking when. You're going to start talking to them like December, the first, second week of December is what I'm seeing here. There's somebody on the in-between that's coming through, like right before Halloween. That's just, to pass time. That will be a time passer. But the meat and potatoes on the table is the music person, and you'll see that probably first, second week of December. I'm gonna sit back. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Trust me, it's cool. I just don't want to interrupt the flow. You're good.
Okay. This next one, where did it go? Comes from Lisa. She says, finally ready to love again. Will I find love soon?
January. It's just January. It's books. It's books. It's snow. It's reading. It's library. It's bookstores. I'm sorry, just a lot of books. This person loves books. I can't remember what that's called, but they love books. They love to read. They're old school, and it's going to be January. It is the time that they're going to come through. The time the two of you are going to meet. It's going to be. It almost wow. It's like you are at a bookstore. That's just so prevalent right now. You're at a bookstore. You have a couple in your hand. You turn around and you actually. It almost like I don't want to say like Hallmark movie, but it's the
That's
two
what
of you.
I was thinking.
But like, but it's like the two of you. You bump into each other. Books are dropped, and it's just like very classic, old school. And really, that's what's coming through. It's just like that. And then from there, it's just. warm feelings and great conversation, which will lead from one step to another. That's what I was coming through with me.
Yeah.
And it was just really made my hair stand up. Like it was just boom.
Sorry, I'm OCD.
This next one is going to come from Michelle. She asks, will Joe and I get back together when?
I'm going to be real with you. I love you. First of all, I say this with love. I just feel like it's time to move on. It's time to get going. It is. It's time to move on from Joe. Joe will make a roundabout. Yes, he will, because he's going to reflect on what he could have had. And that's a big word there, could have. He could have done it, but he didn't. And I know your heart is heavy. I can feel it. I know you want things to work out with Joe. But if you could just see the bigger picture here. And it's hard to see the bigger picture when we're in love with somebody and we're not with them. I get that. I totally understand that. But with Joe, it's so, it's just so hard. It's a hard, hard path. And how are you going to trust him, Michelle? Come on. How are you going to trust him? It's always going to be in the back of your mind. Sweep that out. You have to put you first. And when you put you first, and I know you've already asked for somebody to come into your life. I can see it. When you've done that, you put in an order. Like when we go out to eat, we put in what we want to eat. You put in a spiritual order. You were frustrated. You were lonely. You were upset when that happened, but it happened. And I feel like that still is coming to you. There still is someone new coming to you. And they're not giving me a time frame because I feel like they want you to do you first, love you first. And then when we get into, oh, here it comes. When we get into like late December going into January, that's when you're going to be able to know that it's okay to release Joe. You're going to have somebody on the in-between that you're not sure, should I not? I don't really like him, but I'm talking to somebody. That's going to happen. But it's going to be the clarity that you need will be in that time frame like that. And right at the end of this year, going into the new year. But please, the first thing they said was it's time to move on. It's time to get going. And that can be scary. But think of it this way. What a great adventure it's going to be. It could be a great adventure. And you have to keep telling yourself it's going to be a great adventure. I don't know what's ahead. I don't know where I'm going, but I sure know where I've been. And where I've been was not good. So it's going to get better, and that will happen. It will totally happen. I'm sorry. I know you probably don't want to hear that, but I'm being very honest with what's coming through.
And just a reminder before we go into the next question, if you are asking about another person, whether you're asking about your crush or your husband or your partner, or you're asking about, your kid and your kid's love life, if you could try to include their first name, that would be really helpful. This next question is going to come from Ashley. She says, hi, I would like to know if me and Steve will actually get into a relationship, or will we just continue to stay in their weird limbo area?
You're going to be in that weird limbo area with Steve as long as you allow it to happen. And I'm not saying that in the essence of when you put your foot down to make it into a relationship that he's going to reciprocate that, because I don't think that he will. It's just as long as you allow it to be that weird limbo, he's going to keep it there because that's where he's comfortable and that's where he wants it to be. He has a hard time making that commitment. He has some insecurities he needs to deal with. And it's kind of one of those things that's keeping him from taking that step from it being, weird limbo into relationship. But he's going to stay there for a while. I don't see him coming out of that anytime soon.
Steve reminds me of I love DJs, love them. And Spirit, this is what Spirit showed me. Steve reminds me of that person that's been that DJ their whole life. That's been that very handsome person. Everybody has just been attracted to Steve, but Steve is just Steve. Like if we were the Smurfs, he would be vanity. He'd always be looking at himself. And that's, you don't want to be with somebody like that. The connection, the passion, the intimacy, that's the bomb.com, girl. But you got to have more. You've got to have more if you're going to go into life and home and really make this work. And Ashley, stop. She says, I don't know who this is. She says, stop cutting your nose off to spite your face. What does that mean?
That's a good point.
I don't know what that means, but that's what she said. Stop cutting your nose off to spite your face. And I think it involves Steve, because we're tuning into that. Yeah, he's not going to change.
No, it's just not always going to be.
You pull the plug out of the wall, Ashley. Pull the plug out of the wall. And I tell you what, as soon as you do, you're going to feel bad, but you're going to move forward.
Oh, you're good.
This next one comes from Shanette. She asks, any love this month?
Lots of outside love from people, yes. Romantic love, a little bit, not too much.
December
is when it's rolling in?
December. Middle of December is when it'll start. And it's going to be good. It's going to start off great. Just keep it simple when it starts to happen. And then it's going to manifest its way into love, but it's not going to be this month. It's just it's from friends, from outside people, family, things of that nature. That's what I was feeling.
And oh boy, sorry, I've got spirits all up in here. So you give the shirt off your back. You give somebody your last dollar. You make sure you preserve your lifeline, okay? Preserve you first. You're so nice until somebody pushes you over the edge and boom, you switch. That's okay. That's all right. But there's somebody now that you're talking to that you want things to work out with. They do, and they are attracted to you. They do really like you. Yes. But there's a bigger picture coming. There's a bigger, like, this person I feel like is an educator or was an educator. They educated in some way, whether it be in the academic system or military. That's where it's an educator. Yes, that's coming through for you. So when that happens, pay attention.
Josette says, Michael and I, will we stay platonic, or is there a chance of getting romantic?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. You will, how do you say that? You will level up in romance. It's not just going to be playful anymore. You will settle it down. You will bind together. Mm-hmm. I did see the binding.
He's just going to come out. He's just going to come out and say it is what it's going to be.
He likes you. Mm-hmm. Like, he's very comfortable, but he's not silly. He knows he's got to make the next step. Yeah. He knows that's what happens, and he will. Mm-hmm. He will. You're nice. We got a lot of nice people. Like, the energy that's coming through with the people that are asking these questions. Josette's a very nice lady too. She's super nice. Her heart is so big.
Yeah, it'll get romantic. He's just gonna spit it out one day.
It'll one day when. I want to know when for Josette. Tell me when.
November.
November? Okay.
First or second week in November.
Okay.
This one, I don't have a first name. The username is Quack over on YouTube.
Awesome.
They say, I felt I finally met my soulmate, but COVID has turned us apart. And lately, Sergey said he never had real feelings for me. Is it the end, or is the story not over yet?
He's just frustrated. I don't know how to say your name, but he is just frustrated, sweetheart. He is.
That's the way that's how it came out.
Mm-hmm. And, what I feel here psychically, the energy, it's actually rolling in this way from the left. So he's very, very, very masculine person, masculine energy, aggressive energy. When he's frustrated, I'm done. And then he walks away, and then he comes back. It's like he gets frustrated, takes a break, says stupid things he shouldn't have said, and then he comes back. No, your story is not done. It's not. And wash that out. What he said to you, sweep that under the rug. People say, like, he says stupid things when he's upset and frustrated. Don't listen to that. Do not let that affect where you two can go. Don't get stuck on that. Mm-hmm.
So we are getting a lot of questions from people that are asking, is it the end, or is there more to this story? Do you guys have any kind of insight on, what it looks like when the relationship is over?
Wow.
The only way I can describe that is Nightmare Before Christmas. Sally, how she jumped out of the castle and had to sew herself back up. in the lighting, the Tim Burton blue lighting. It's very dreary. It's like an Edgar Allan Poe story. It's just dead. You just feel dead. You don't want to do anything. You start to question, am I good enough? Was I good enough? You start to lose your center and your confidence. Do never, ever, ever sacrifice yourself. Never. Don't ever do that. But you have to always keep true to you, because you're the only one that's going to take care of you. You'll have support. Like I have Roman as my support, and you know, vice versa. But you always have to make sure that if you have that feeling like you're living dead girl or living dead boy, you got to pull the plug out of the wall. And then you got to take time for yourself.
Yeah, that's very important. Always take time for yourself and never see it as a waste of time. That's something that definitely, it's never, even if it didn't work out, even if it was years, it was not a waste of time. It just took, when it gets to the point where it is finally done and that cord is finally cut and you have parted ways and gone your ways, just remember that there were things to learn from that. And that's what you apply to the next time when that energy comes to you. And that will help. It helps you see that energy and recognize it instead of wondering, when will it come to me? It helps you recognize that because you know what you've learned and you know what you want and what you don't want.
And then a quick way to help you get over someone, to help you, you have to laugh about it. And the only way to do it is rhyme things with their names. Like, oh my God, I'm dying with Ryan. You know what I mean? Something like that. Or, it's for instance, you're dating somebody this is a true story, that was named Heath. Well, get a whole bunch of Heath candy bars. My kids did that to me. They threw Heath candy bars in my bed one day and I went to lay down and there was all these Heath candy bars. Instead of crying and thinking about, oh my God, this is over with Heath, I laughed my butt off because the kids threw all these candy bars and we sat in bed and laughed and ate them. You have to do those things. You have to make fun of not the person, but just make fun of the situation. And if you have to use a name to do it, like Roman, I'd take me a couple days to think of something funny, but you have to think of something funny in order to lift that vibe. Because if you lift that vibe up, you're not going to feel in a slump. And you keep lifting that vibe, and it's eventually going to fill up you, which is you could be the cup. It's very important. Yeah. Just make fun of the situation.
So just laugh and eat chocolate is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That and Golden Girls.
Okay, so we have a little under 15 minutes left. I know typically we switch over to doing tarot cards, or if you guys want to stick to this format, whichever one you guys would prefer.
I don't know. I haven't touched my cards in probably 3 years. Well, a year.
We'll just keep going like this. We're still getting a lot of questions in. So before we switch back over to questions, just to do a couple of announcements. We are doing another Facebook Live on our Facebook and on our YouTube next Monday, the 12th, with Psychic Aisha. And then we'll be doing another one on the 26th with Psychic Marin. On the 19th, which is the third Monday of the month, that's when we do our tarot lives, which is a lot like this. There's just not a video. So you come in, you ask your question, whichever psychic that we have for the tarot live. We'll have Psychic Laverne, who's absolutely incredible. She will pull a tarot card and just provide you with a quick explanation, and we'll post a photo of the card for you to see it. So it's just a great kind of discreet way to get a reading. We have a lot of people that will just come in and comment, can I get a card, or can I get a love card, or they'll come in and ask a question. So if you're not super comfortable asking a question during the this live reading, that's a great alternative. So make sure that if you're on Facebook, you give us a follow. If you're on YouTube, go to our Facebook, our Twitter, or our Instagram. That's where we'll be doing the tarot live. Make sure that you hit the follow button so you can see anytime that we do one of these live readings, or we do a tarot live, or just recently we had a contest that ended for free reading dollars. So make sure that you're checking that out so that those things are appearing on your feed and you can keep interacting with us. Thank you so much to everyone that has joined us today. If you do have any other questions after your reading, or you didn't have a chance to get your question answered, please give us a call. You can download our app. We have this really awesome new chat feature, which is a great way to get a little bit more of a discreet reading where if you can't talk on the phone, or maybe you're like me, you're not super comfortable talking on the phone. And that's really cool because you can get your chat transcript emailed to you after the reading. So if, me personally, things go in one ear and out the other, I forget it. So it's really helpful for me. I can just go back into my email and see exactly what the psychic said. I don't have to write down word for word the timeline that they're giving me. So definitely check that out. Psychic Kerrigan and Psychic Roman would love to talk to you to answer any more questions that you have or provide a little bit more clarity on a question that they've already answered. So make sure that you check them out. This one comes from Angel. They ask, will I hear from David soon, and does he still love me?
Yes, he does. A lot. Sorry, I just said real physical, actual confirmation of that, but yes. Yes, he does still love you. You are going to hear from him soon. It feels like he's just kind of dealing with some things right now, some private things. Again, it feels like a thing where communication, as I'm having a hard time talking as well, that communication just isn't there on how to express it to you. Like, I'm sorry, Angel, that I needed this time to take care of these things. I should have, and I feel like when you start to communicate again, you are actually going to hear that from David. Sorry, I should have been upfront. I should have let you know. I should have just kind of, because it feels like it was quick and just poof. I should have done that, and this is why. And then the two of you will be able to go from there and kind of move forward. And I feel like it's going to be to what's, I'm not sure if you're getting anything from it, but for me, what's coming through is like probably about 3 weeks is real. I know it sounds like a long time, said out loud, but that's really what's being shown to me.
This next one comes from Takera. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. She said, hi, hope you're staying safe. What are Fletcher's intentions, and will he commit to me?
I got with Fletcher, I got I got Peter Pan. I usually get shown that when somebody is they're there for the moment, they're there for what they need, and then they go forward. You have great energy, and it just really flows off of you. And for Fletcher, he's really kind of feeding off of that, and it's almost like, and I was like a psychic vampire, so to speak. Like, he's really feeding off of what you have. So he's going to be there when he needs it. He's going to be there when he needs your energy, when he needs lifted up, kind of when that ego needs boosted. And then once he's okay and he feels good, he's bounced. He's bouncing out. He's moving along, and it feels like he kind of keeps that communication enough to where you're not sure which way it's going, one way or the other, but you're sticking with it, and you're sticking with him. But he's just going to keep doing that until he's had his fill.
The bottom line, Takera, Fletcher, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I feel like he's a player. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know what he wants. And I want good for you. I want you to be taken care of. I want you to be a queen. And I don't feel like he's king material. When he gets older, yes, but not right now. He's not. You're too good of a person. You put out too much love. You meet somebody and boom, you're ready to give him everything, because that's just the way you are, and it's the way you were raised, and there's nothing wrong with that. But hold out and give all of you to somebody that deserves you. Fletcher, he'll grow up, but you're not going to help him grow up, okay?
This one is from Josh. He says, currently I am a man focused on career, but I've also given up on the concept of marriage. In about 2 to 3 years, I will consider dating. What do you see in my future for love?
What is coming through with me is that for you, you're going to find somebody with that same drive, and that honestly is what you need. And I feel like you haven't, in these past relationships, you haven't found somebody that has that drive. It starts out that way. It sounds good on paper when you're talking, but when it comes down to it, nose to the grindstone, You're the one that's always focused. You're the one that's always pushing. And I really feel like that when you actually open up, and it's going to be sooner. I know you're saying in about 2 to 3 years you're going to consider dating, but I really feel like closer to that 2-year time frame between now and then, is somebody's really going to come in. They're going to come into almost, I don't want to say like a work partner, but that's what it's going to seem like. You're going to see their drive. They're going to have that same focus. And that's really where it's going to start that spark. And at first you're going to be like, oh, maybe. But no, but you know, you're going to say, no, I'm not ready for that yet. But it's just going to get to the point to where it's going to be almost like for the two of you, you're not going to have a choice. You know? So,
yeah.
We have one from Kia. She says, do you guys see if there's a chance Jeremiah and I will commit to each other possibly? And if so, will it be soon? What could I do to strengthen our relationship going forward? He is such a mystery, and at times I want to let go.
Oh. To strengthen the relationship, absence makes the heart grow fonder. That's what they're saying. So you have to take your energy back. You gotta take it back, and you can't give out so much energy to him. And if you have to, you know, go into your own thing and do your own thing and put yourself first, is truly what I feel is best. And trust the fact that he will turn around and he will not be such a mystery. You'll be able to read him better. But as for right now, you know, the mystery comes from all of the disappointment that he's had in his life. The mystery is his shield. It's like a shield like St. Michael has, and he slays all the demons, you know. But that's what Jeremiah is doing. He's like Superman. He's got his shield up. And he knows that you're kind. He knows that you're trustworthy. Absolutely. He knows that you're not going to hurt him, but he's got to chop that stuff down. And the thing that you can do for that is just positive reinforcement. You know, tell him that it's okay. He's safe. Nothing's going to happen to him. And he's going to be, I know nothing's going to happen to me, but he doesn't understand emotionally. He's not going to get hurt by you. Mm-hmm. And he knows that if he disappoints you, there's going to be confrontation. He's not open for confrontation right now because he's had confrontation basically his whole entire life. Not as a child or a teenager, but when he started dating, there was always somebody confronting him and putting him under the interrogation light. And he doesn't want that from anymore, just period. He doesn't want that. Things will move forward, but I feel like you have to take a break from him first. You have to do that. Don't tell him. He don't need to know. Just let it be. You know, let it happen on its own. And then you'll see him come back through. You'll see him turn around. And he will, because he looks at you as if you are somebody that he can spend the rest of his life with. He doesn't trust a lot of people, what they're saying here. He doesn't really trust anybody, but somehow he understood you, and he understood that he could trust you. So that's your key. That's your key to open up that door to the future with him, is that trust. And trust the fact that if you take a break, he will turn around. Don't doubt that when you do.
Okay, so it looks like we have time for one more question. So before I pick the next one, everyone go ahead and hurry up and comment your question. I'll give you guys a couple of seconds, just, you know, fill it in with some chit chat. Thank you guys so much for joining us again. It was always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure having you guys both on here, and just watching you guys just kind of do a reading together is so much fun. So thank you.
Being here, yeah, for sure.
We love you guys. We love California Psychics and everybody that calls in. I've been with the company for almost 8 years. I feel like an old person, and it's the longest, you know, career I've had, like a steady career. I love it. I love all of you. I miss all of you.
Okay, so last question comes from Cindy. She says, why did Jeff and I not work out?
First thing that came through with me is you're on a different level than him. You're on a completely different level. Emotionally, where you want to be in life, what you want, and he's not ready for that. He's not there. I mean, it was immediately, I was just shown a child playing with blocks. Like, you are, and you're the parent standing over him. So, you know what I mean? Like, you're constantly going to be there to have to hold his hand and pull him through. And he's just not. He's just not the one. He's not that one. So even though you may be thinking that you would like to, have that reconnection, and it's just wanting the best for you, it's actually kind of a good thing that it didn't work out, because he would have just constantly keeping you down, and you constantly would have been the parent, and you would have been raising a child for the rest of your life. Really, it is one of the things. So, it's just, he was too much of a child, and he couldn't make that commitment. He couldn't. So that's what came through. That's all, and that's what it was immediately. He's a kid, and you're the parent. So.
Well, thank you guys so much for another incredible live reading. We answered so many questions today. We had so many comments. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone that tuned in. If you didn't have a chance to get your question answered, or you have a couple follow-up questions that you want to go ahead and ask, give us a call, download our app, check out this really cool new chat feature that we have. It's a really simple way to get a reading now. And if you're a new customer, we have this promo code at the very bottom, Live5. It's going to get $5 added to certain new customer packages. And whether you are getting your first reading or you've gotten a reading in the past, make sure you check out our Karma Rewards program. It's a really fantastic way to earn points. For you're already getting a reading, you might as well get some points for it. So make sure you check that out. We do Karma Rewards days where you can earn extra points. So once you sign up for that, you'll be able to see when those upcoming dates are. So definitely check that out. Thank you so much to everyone that tuned in. If you want to be around to watch the next one next week or any of our upcoming ones, go ahead. If you're on Facebook, give us a follow. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, because you're not going to want to miss these. Kerrigan, Roman, thank you guys so much again for joining us.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.